At 76, Richard Gere is often spoken about less as a traditional Hollywood icon and more as a man who chose a different rhythm of life than the one fame expected of him. Known globally for films like Pretty Woman, he built a career on charm, intensity, and quiet emotional depth. Yet beyond the screen, his story is less about stardom and more about searching for meaning, for spiritual grounding, and for a life that felt aligned with his values. Over decades, he moved between Hollywood success, Buddhist practice, and humanitarian activism, gradually reshaping what a successful life meant for him. Early life and restlessness. Richard Gere was born in 1949 in Philadelphia and raised in North Syracuse, New York, in a modest, close-knit family. His father worked as an insurance agent with a strong sense of service, while his mother created a warm, musical household. Gere grew up active and curious, excelling in gymnastics, music, and academics. Even as a child, he carried a sense of inner questioning that didn't fully align with his environment. While life in a small town was stable and ordinary, Gere often seemed to be looking beyond it, drawn toward philosophy, performance, and the deeper questions of existence and purpose. Education and early philosophical search. After high school, Gere earned a gymnastics scholarship to the University of Massachusetts Amherst, where he initially studied philosophy. He became deeply interested in existential thinkers and Eastern ideas, reading widely and questioning conventional paths. However, academic structure soon felt limiting to him. After 2 years, he dropped out of college, choosing uncertainty over stability. This decision reflected a defining trait in his life, a willingness to leave comfort behind when it no longer aligned with his inner direction. Instead of following a predictable professional path, he moved toward the uncertain world of acting and performance. Early acting struggles in New York. In the late 1960s and early 1970s, Gere moved to New York City to pursue acting. Like many young performers, he faced financial instability and uncertainty, taking roles wherever he could find them. He worked in small theater productions and experimental stage projects, often living modestly while developing his craft. These years were not glamorous, they were formative. The discipline of theater, the unpredictability of auditions, and the emotional demands of performance shaped his understanding of acting as both craft and vulnerability. Slowly, he began to gain recognition for his presence on stage. Breakthrough in theater. Gere's early breakthrough came through stage work, including notable performances such as in Grease during its original London production. Unlike the later film adaptation, the stage version was raw, energetic, and grounded in theatrical grit. Gere's performance helped establish him as a rising talent capable of both charisma and emotional complexity. This period marked his transition from struggling actor to someone industry professionals began to notice. Still, success was not immediate or overwhelming. He continued working in theater and small film roles, building a foundation rather than a sudden rise. Spiritual transformation in Asia. In the late 1970s, Gere traveled to Asia, where he encountered Tibetan Buddhism, a turning point in his life. During this time, he met spiritual teachers, including the Dalai Lama, an experience that deeply influenced his worldview. Buddhism introduced him to ideas of impermanence, compassion, and detachment from ego-driven ambition. Rather than treating spirituality as symbolic, he embraced it as a daily practice. Meditation and study became central to his life. This shift did not remove him from acting, but it changed how he understood fame, success, and identity, grounding him in something beyond Hollywood validation. Activism and industry tensions. As Gere's spiritual life deepened, so did his humanitarian activism, particularly regarding human rights in Tibet. He became a vocal supporter of Tibetan independence and humanitarian causes, which at times placed him at odds with certain political and commercial interests. While this limited opportunities in some international markets, it was not a dramatic exile, but rather a consequence of openly held positions. In Hollywood, he continued to work, but he was increasingly selective about roles. Rather than pursuing constant visibility, he focused on projects that aligned with his personal values and artistic interests. Hollywood success and global recognition. Despite his philosophical and spiritual journey, Gere's film career flourished. In the 1980s and 1990s, he became one of Hollywood's most recognizable leading men. Films such as American Gigolo, An Officer and a Gentleman, and Pretty Woman established him as a global star. His on-screen presence combines sophistication with emotional accessibility, making him a defining romantic lead of his era. Yet, even at the height of fame, he maintained a degree of separation from celebrity culture. Success never fully replaced his deeper interest in spirituality, reflection, and humanitarian work, relationships, and personal evolution. Gere's personal life included 2 earlier marriages, first to model Cindy Crawford and later to actress Carrie Lowell. Both relationships were high-profile and ultimately ended, reflecting the difficulty of balancing private life with public attention. He also has a son from his second marriage. Over time, Gere became more private and reflective about relationships, valuing emotional compatibility and shared values over public image. These experiences contributed to a gradual shift in his priorities, moving away from the intensity of Hollywood relationships toward a quieter, more grounded personal life. Later, marriage and fatherhood. In 2018, Gere married Spanish activist Alejandra Silva, marking a new chapter in his life. Their relationship was built on shared humanitarian interests and spiritual alignment rather than industry status. Together, they built a family and welcomed 2 children in 2019 and 2020, making Gere a father again in his late 60s and early 70s. This stage of life brought a renewed sense of purpose and daily responsibility. Fatherhood shifted his focus from career legacy to presence, emphasizing simple, consistent moments over public achievement or recognition. Philosophy, purpose, and legacy. In his later years, Gere has often spoken less about fame and more about meaning, compassion, and awareness. His Buddhist practice remains central, guiding how he approaches aging, family, and public life. Rather than seeing success as accumulation, he frames it as alignment with values and inner peace. His activism continues, but without the urgency of earlier years. What defines him now is not a narrative of exile or rejection, but of conscious choice, choosing how to live, what to prioritize, and how to remain present in a rapidly changing world. Conclusion: Richard Gere's life is best understood not as a departure from Hollywood, but as an expansion beyond it. He moved from actor to global star, from star to seeker, and from seeker to grounded family man and activist. His journey reflects a consistent theme: the search for meaning over mere visibility. While fame shaped the early and middle chapters of his life, it did not define its direction. Instead, he gradually built a life centered on awareness, relationships, and service. In that sense, his legacy is less about roles played on screen and more about the values he chose to live by off it.